gospel, and it is the first of the signs that Jesus will perform, that we during this Epiphany tide are supposed to help us understand who Jesus is meant to be in the world. It is well known. It is one that we tell about all the time, and you may be, on your Facebook, you've maybe seen the meme that I see regularly, people send to me all the time. It's a picture of a grocery store shelf, and up on top it says water, and underneath are all bottles of wine, and then the meme says Jesus was here. You know, people have fun with it. But when you read it, like we just did, it's kind of a tricky story. What is going on here? So here's this wedding feast, and they usually lasted 7 to 14 days in the old world, right? And it was a big time of celebration and abundance and joy, and the wine was running out. And Mary, Jesus' mother, goes to him and says, hey, the wine's running out. And he says, oh, don't bother me. I don't want to think about it. But yet, he goes ahead and he does something. Now, my question that I did not get answered in all my research is how did Mary know he could do that? Have you ever wondered? How did Mary know that he could turn water into wine so much that she went to him to fix the problem? Well, I think probably at some level, Mary's intimacy with the Holy Spirit has given her a gift of understanding that helps throughout Jesus' life. And indeed, her prodding does lead him to suggest, go and fill these water jugs and do it now. And Mary says to them, do whatever he tells you, because she knows something grand is due to happen. Now, you may not have noticed, but the beginning of the reading says, on the third day. Did anybody pick up on that? Why on the third day? Well, scholars suggest that this is a story that's going to talk to us about new life. Because after the crucifixion, it was the third day when new life became abundant. And not only that, Jesus takes the water jugs that are used for the Jewish purification and says, take these and fill them with water. And so, in some ways, the old ritual of purification is being transformed into something new. And that something new is God's abundance, right? That's what we are looking at. That's what we are listening to. That's what we are acknowledging today, is God's abundant love for the world. It's tricky when the world is in so much discourse to hear this story of God intervening in a way that helped a celebration. But when you get right down to it, what God calls us into is a life where we can find joy, where we can find love, where we can find community in powerful ways. And so for God to bless a wedding feast really is about blessing community. And that's what we hear throughout the readings. In our Old Testament reading, God has renamed Jerusalem, renamed Zion. No longer the forsaken one, but the beloved. God is renaming, God is doing new things, God is making new realities happen throughout the world. Corinthians brings us face to face with a challenge. Because in the book of Corinthians, we have Paul writing to a church that is in some discord. Because they've decided that some gifts are better than other gifts. So some people are more important than other people. And Paul is saying, no, you got it wrong. Paul is saying diversity is the gift. Because some can do this, and some can do this, and some can do this. But we need it all. We need all the gifts. And everyone is infused with gifts from the Spirit. Paul says that very, very clearly. And that, my friends, is another sign of abundance, of God's abundant love for us. My dear priest, who I love, 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 Roy Coulter, used to love to start his sermons by quoting a friend of his. His friend taught him to every morning stand in front of the mirror and say, I am a child of God and something wonderful is happening in me. He said there were days when saying that was really hard. But then there were days when it came out very easily. I am a child of God and something wonderful is happening in me. And that's a truth each one of us bears. Each one of us is a child of God, and something wonderful is afoot inside of us. And that wonderful thing is the call to find out where it is our gifts lay. Where it is our God has gifted us so that we can become givers of that same love to the world around us. And the Great British Baking Show. Yes, when I would say to my sister, I could do that. She's like, sure you could do it. Okay. Somebody brought me the cookbook for Christmas and I can't do it. But anyway, so what I learned through all of that is to trust in the fact that God, I am a child of God and something wonderful is happening inside of me. And my charge and challenge is to fight against the sorrow of the news every day of my life. Now, yesterday was no exception. I don't know if any of you saw the videotape of the young Catholic students in Washington, D.C. berating the Native American man who was praying for his fallen comrades from Vietnam. If you haven't seen it, don't go looking for it, it'll make you sad. But what it made me think was that there are so many ways that we can intervene in love. That if we could find a way to raise our children to love as we have been loved, to truly take the baptismal covenant of respecting the dignity of every human being to heart, that's what we are called to do. Find our gifts, find our way of reaching out in love. Certainly our differences will separate us in lots of levels, but finding our love is the common denominator. Finding our love is what God's abundance is all about. That's why the water was changed into wine. Because finding our love is finding our joy. Finding our love and knowing our gifts and sharing our gifts is how we help transform a broken world. So we mustn't get disheartened. What we must do is find a way, a gentle, quiet, simple way of showing love. Showing love in all that we are and in all that we do. Because that is why Jesus came into the world. That we might watch him, listen to him, know him, and share him in all that we are and all that we do. And so, the wisdom of the 8-year-old holds. Whenever you possibly can, invite Jesus. Amen.